Well, hello there. My name is Beth Gapp, and I am the systems manager, technology trainer, and robotics instructor here at the Peabody Public Library. Welcome back to another Computer Fun Friday session. I'm really excited about today because we get to talk about the internet, and the internet's just fun, and we're going to have all kinds of fun. And I do have some videos for you today, as well as some, starting to get a little situated, as well as some information. So hopefully let me maximize myself. Here we go. All right. I'm going to check to see if we have any participants that want to be in here with us today. And I don't see any, but that's okay because this is a recorded session, which means that I will be posting this to our channel later. So you would be able to watch it there. If you aren't familiar with our channel, let me see if I can get us. Yeah. So it is on YouTube. And hopefully it just comes right on it. So this is our channel. Oh, so hopefully you heard that. I can never tell if my stuff is working or not. But I am going to share our link to the channel so you would be able to watch it later since you cannot be with us today. There we go. All right, so today we're going to be talking about, let me stop sharing. Yep. Today we're going to be talking about Internet 101. This is a very, very basic beginner class to get you going. This class would be after you've already hooked up your modem at home or your Wi-Fi and you're already starting to get on there. However, I am going to show you a couple of videos about the internet. So let me go back and hopefully I can never tell what we're on here. Nope, that's not what I want. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, let's go back to where we were. Here we go. All right, let me move my box here. All right, maybe I can. Sorry about that. Trying to. I am trying to get. Okay, so I've got computer sound on now. Sorry, I'm trying to get used to what we're doing here. And I need to get underneath this, but it isn't letting me. So I will just retype it in. So I'm going to go to YouTube and they've got some really awesome websites that we can use there for beginning internet for beginners. And I'm also going to go to gcflearnfree.org. Another great one. Maybe. We'll just go to GCF Learn. I don't know. This thing isn't working right. Okay. GCF Learn Free is a very, very valuable resource. I highly recommend that you use them. Let me see if I can get our background to be, there we go. And on here, they actually have a really cool internet for beginners type of deal. So I'm going to come up here to my topics, or actually I could go to search, but these are all of the topics that they offer you. And we're going to go to the internet. Here we go. Internet basics. And all of this is free. So once you do get on the internet, you'll be able to see and use a lot of these resources. So let's find out what the internet is.
The internet has changed the world in ways we could have never imagined. But what exactly is it? The internet is a global network made up of billions of computers. These computers are communicating with each other, allowing people to share information in a variety of ways. The internet operates through physical cables. Even wireless connections rely on these cables in order to access the global network. When you visit a website, your computer sends a request over the cables to a server. A server is where data, like websites, are stored, and it works a lot like your computer. Once the request arrives, the server retrieves the website and sends the correct data or information back to your computer or device. The data might be text, images, videos, you name it. For all of the amazing things it can do, issues like cyberbullying, privacy concerns, fraud, and other challenges come with the territory. It's hard to predict how any new technology will evolve. But one thing we know for sure is that the internet is here to stay. This web of connection is a powerful thing, and it will continue to transform the world as we know it.
GCF Global.
All right. And he is 100% correct. So it is a global network. Talked about what the web is. So let's see how it actually works. This is a video that is on YouTube, so you'd be able to watch this at any time.
Where does the internet come from?
Where does the internet come from?
Not sure? Okay, let's start with the basics. The internet is a global network of interconnected computers used to deliver that vast collection of digital pages we call the World Wide Web. They're not the same thing. It's actually an enormous system of cables, real physical cables, traveling all around the world, connecting our devices to the servers that store the pages we want to view. How does it work? First, your device needs to connect to your internet service provider's network. Congratulations, you're now part of the internet. By entering the address of the website you want to visit, you send an electronic request for information over your phone line or cable to your ISP. The ISP sends the request to a server further up the chain, a domain name server or DNS, which acts as a kind of directory. The DNS looks for a match for the address you've typed in. When it finds it, the request is sent to the server hosting that website. That server could be in a different country, so the request needs to travel along cables both under the ground and under the sea to reach its destination. Yep, it really does go under the sea. These subsea fiber optic cables literally connect the world, linking continent to continent, with the exception of Antarctica. 95% of international digital traffic travels this way. Just think, most of your tweets and emails have been underwater. Running under the seabed, these thousands of kilometers of fiber optic cable are known as the internet's backbone. Without them, the global internet just wouldn't work. Amazingly, they're only as thick as a garden hose, making them prone to the occasional shark bite. So, if your internet's slow, blame a hungry shark. It's never a big problem though. The cable network's so vast, the request simply reroutes. Contrary to popular belief, the internet is never down. The request finally reaches the data center housing the server where the website lives. The server sends the requested information back across the network, broken down into chunks of data called packets, which your device puts back together like a jigsaw to form the web page you see on your screen. And all this happens in the blink of an eye, all over the world, millions of times per second.
Okay, well, I did not know that they run that underneath the water. So that is definitely an interesting fact. Let's see. We're going to go down here to continue. GCF Learn Free is really amazing because it just takes us pretty much step by step on anything and everything we want to learn. So now it's talking about sending and receiving emails, social networking, online media, everyday tasks, and a whole lot more. So how do I connect to the internet? Let's find out.
There are lots of reasons to set up a home internet connection. For example, you'll have access to email, news, shopping, TV shows, and much more. And once you have a working internet connection, you can create a wireless home network, which will let your whole family connect their computers, smartphones, and other internet-ready devices. Let's look at a few different types of internet connections that you can have. Dial-up connects to your phone line. It's usually much slower than other types of internet
I don't really
connections,
make dial-up
but in
anymore.
some areas it may be the
So
only
this is a
option
little
available.
outdated.
Generally, DSL and cable are better
is not the
options.
way you do it.
DSL plugs into your phone line, and cable uses your cable TV connection. These are both known as broadband internet connections because they offer much faster speeds than dial-up. This makes it easier to watch videos, play games, or browse the web. Fiber is the fastest type of broadband currently available. Using fiber optic cables, it can provide speeds that exceed even DSL or cable. However, it may not be available where you live, and it tends to be more expensive. Cellular is sold under a few different names, including 4G, LTE, and 5G. They're types of wireless internet connections often used by smartphones, but you can also get these types of connections for your home. Depending on where you live, a cellular connection may be a good broadband alternative. No matter what kind of internet service you choose, you'll need to purchase it from an internet service provider, or ISP. Chances are you can buy internet service from your phone or cable company, or you may want to shop around for a better price. Your ISP will guide you through the entire process of connecting to the internet. They will usually need to send a technician to your home to turn on your connection. Your ISP may also give you a modem and set it up for you. But if you prefer, you can buy a modem from a computer store and use the included instructions to set it up yourself. These instructions will vary, but the basic idea is that you'll connect the modem to your phone jack or cable TV connection, and then connect your computer to the modem using an Ethernet cable. Once you have everything set up, you can open your web browser and begin using the internet. If you want to connect several devices to the internet, you can create a wireless home network, also known as a Wi-Fi network. To do this, you'll need a wireless router, which takes the internet connection from your modem and broadcasts it throughout your home. Your modem may already have a wireless router built in, so you may not need to buy one. To set up your wireless connection, follow the instructions included with your router. You'll need to choose a network name, also known as an SSID. Also, for security, you should turn on WPA2 or WPA3 encryption, depending on what your router supports. Then, make sure you choose a strong password. After you've set up your wireless network, go into each device's Wi-Fi or network settings, select your network name, and type your password. If any of your devices are not wireless ready, you can simply plug them into your router with an Ethernet cable, or you can purchase a wireless card. Setting up an internet connection and Wi-Fi network takes a little bit of work, but once you get it set up, your family will be able to use the internet without being limited to one computer.
Okay, so a couple of things about that video. You do want to make sure that a lot of times when you go through your service provider, they're going to come set all that up for you. So if you're not real familiar with the whole setup process, don't get discouraged because a lot of times your service provider will be able to help you with that. So, but that is a really good video to show you kind of the connections, what each piece is kind of doing. So dial-up really isn't something that's existent anymore. Most of them that, I mean, it can go through your phone line, but even through your phone line, they can do that through as a DSL cable. They do have satellite. However, satellite, if you already have satellite TV, then you kind of already know what to expect. So, you know, if you've got bad weather or an airplane driving through or whatever, it's very possible that your connection is going to be broken a little easier than it being hardwired in with either DSL or the cable. So just keep that in mind if you want to go the satellite route. We are up to 5G speeds now on a lot of our home devices or our mobile devices. And most of your modems now do come with the router in there. I do know that if you get a hold of your local service provider, they have these routers in the modems already, so you wouldn't have to worry about any of that. So before we start talking about what the cloud is, because that's really kind of the subject all by itself, I want to kind of talk to you about things that you can do on the internet. So first off, we need to understand what a web browser is. So a web browser, let me minimize this. Oh, gets back up. A web browser, let me Google that just so you can see it. So these are some of your web browsers. A web browser's job is just to get you connected to the internet. That's all it does. Once you're connected to the internet, you now have what's called a search engine. This allows you to search the internet. And here are 21 great search engines that people are using instead of Google, but Google is actually one of the better ones. So let's go back. So search engine, yes. So actually I saw the search when I did this search engine and so a lot of them have them built in already. So Google Chrome is actually a web browser, but once you get on there, then you have access to Google, which allows you to search Google. Firefox has its own search. Safari is actually through the Apple devices. And it just depends on what kind of Android phone you have or tablet of what kind of web browser they use. I do know that Kindles use Silk as their web browser. You can probably, and all the Androids would probably be Google because Google is an Android product. They have changed our Internet Explorer now. We now have Microsoft Edge, which still takes us in. That is a web browser as well. So another thing we can do once we're actually connected to the internet and we've searched for what we want. So right now I'm in the Google search engine and I'm going to type in the Peabody Public Library. One thing that you can do is research. Research is pretty easy to do on the internet. You want to make sure that when you are researching items that you aren't researching in the wrong areas. So you definitely want to have something that is scholarly and factual for you to search. So here on our website, we have an online resources page that takes you in. You can also access our channel from here. That's the channel I showed you in the beginning of our class today. So in here, we have all kinds of different online resources. If you are in Indiana, we do have Inspire. Inspire is an Indiana-based type government program that anything on there is going to give you factual information. So you can go to databases A to Z. So now we can find a database of something that we're searching or looking for, and that's going to be shown here. If you are not an Indiana resident, it's okay. You can still, you can still go on and get searches. So you just want to make sure that everything that you are searching is actually going to be a factual thing, and that it isn't just somebody that's thrown a bunch of stuff in there. I am not going to degrade Wikipedia, but I am going to tell you that there is an option for them to be able to go in and edit a lot of that information. So you just want to make sure that the information that you're going to get isn't somebody else's and it isn't edited out. They do have places where you can do grammar checks, rating publishers and authors. You can read your books on the internet using your library card. So from here, I believe Libby. Oh, we need to put Libby on here. Let me make sure of something. Okay. Yeah, we need to put Libby on here. So Libby should be on here, but that is one. Another one would be Hoopla. It just depends on what your library sponsors and hosts of what you're going to be able to use. Going to be honest, I'm not real sure what my information is. Oh, yay. That worked out well. All right, so now I'm in my Hoopla account. This is something that my library pays for. That is a part of my library card, being a patron. So you just want to check with your library to see what they offer. And in here, I can get audiobooks, I can get ebooks. It looks like I can come up here and I can browse. I've got movies and music and television and comics. There's all kinds of stuff I can do with this. And it does it straight on my computer. Now, I can download the Hoopla app or whatever your library sponsors and onto my personal devices as well. So then I'd be able to do it on my device on the go instead of having it on my desktop. But if you have a laptop, then you would still be on the go. You'd still be able to take it with you. So just make sure you're checking your sources on information before you decide whether or not that's going to work for you. Another thing you can do is get your current events, things that are going on right now. So I could just come into my search and type in news. So this is going to be the latest breaking news. This is Yahoo's, but there are a lot of different ones out there that you could go in and take a look at. Again, this is just Yahoo News, but you can get the latest and most current events that are out there. Whether you listen to, or whether you're a part of the Daily News or CNN or whatever you do. Trying to go through all my stuff here. Academic researches, I just kind of talked about that. You want to make sure you're asking an expert. You can also get medical information. Now, be careful with your medical information being on the internet because, again, we're not sure where that information may be coming from. It could just be somebody that's thrown something together. So you want to make sure that you are on a respectful type of medical advice. I'm just typing in something general. And this, I try to stay away from sites that say sponsored because those are just advertisements really. So once you get past the sponsored, you'll have ones that like here I've got WebMD, Healthline. So if I go to, Healthline, they have a lot of different health conditions. Come on. There we go. All right. A lot of different, I could go to all of them. There's a lot of different health conditions out there, so you could look into whichever one that you are interested in knowing more about. So that would be good for medical advice. And the Mayo Clinic is a good one, Intel Health, WebMD, which is what I was on a minute ago, Healthline, HealthWeb. Those are all really good ones. Genealogy research is really going to be a fun one as far as research goes. And you can do that on various sites. They've got Ancestry.com, Heritage Quest. You can just go to your search and type in genealogy. And you're going to get a lot of different. And again, I try to stay away from the sponsored ads, but you'll get a lot of information about different kinds of ancestry and how you can get more involved with it. You can find people online, assuming they want to be found. So even on Ancestry, you'd be able to go in and put in people and see if you can do background checks. There's all kinds of things that you can do just being on the internet. So that was all about research and how to get yourself some information about different stuff. Let's talk about going places. So you can also do a lot of travel online. They have travel agents that you could get on and see. You can try to book your trips. A lot of the ones I use, sorry, I'm trying to get this paper glove, is Travelocity. I really like that. It tells, I can do my flight, I can do my hotel, I can do everything straight from their site. That's a sponsored, so I'm going to come down. And here I can do my stay, my flight, my car. They have packages. So I'm able to do my stay, my flight, and add my car. And then I would do a leaving from, going to, and my dates, and it's going to show me all of that information. So you can travel, go places, making hotel reservations. You do all of that from the internet as well. Trip.com, Expedia, you can get a map, renting a car. And a lot of them you can get directions by using maps. So here I can just go to Google Maps. And then I can just put in the directions or where I'm wanting to go. Okay, let me go back for a second. Here we go. It also may show me my restaurants close by, my hotels close by, possible pharmacies, museums, things to do. So there's a lot of information just in maps alone. We could have a whole class just on maps, and we may have to do that on a Computer Fun Friday. Go on a trip. You can find entertainment online, whether that is entertainment for you to go to the movies or entertainment that you need a band for a wedding. You can find all of that information on the internet. Finding recipes online. We're getting ready to start a new program called the Brainstorm Lab. There's a kids version and an adult version. And on the adult side of that, and probably on the kids side, we're going to actually be exploring restaurants and recipes and sorting and organizing. So that could be a fun thing to do. You can always make money online, just so you know that. They have banking that you can do online, all of your credit cards, so you'd be able to pay all of your bills. Just going through, you got financial websites that can help you with your finances. They've got eBay and Amazon, so you're actually doing online shopping at that point. You can buy houses and cars online. I mean, there's just so much stuff out there that you can do online. Let me close this and let's go back. Now, let's talk about the cloud a little bit and what it is, what it does, and why we need it.
So you're at your computer working on some important files. Suddenly, a meteorite bursts through the window and flattens the computer. But as you stare into the crater, you smile and think, at least my photos, music, and important documents are stored online in the cloud. When something is stored in the cloud, that means it's saved on internet servers instead of on your computer. It's like having an extra hard drive you can access anytime you're connected to the internet. You can access your files anywhere by using cloud-based apps. Some run inside your computer's web browser. These are called web apps. And some of them can also be installed on your mobile device. For instance, Google Docs is a cloud-based app that you may already use. It's free, and it allows you to view, create, and edit many types of projects. You can access Google Docs from almost any device with an internet connection. Since you only need a connected device to access the cloud, you can take your files wherever you like. You can take a photo on your smartphone and upload it to a cloud-based photo storage service like Google Photos or Dropbox. Then you can access that photo on any of your other devices like your computer or TV. You can even work on a document when you're far away from your desk and share it with anyone you want, instantly. Storing files in the cloud is a great way to protect them from accidents, viruses, and more. You can use cloud-based storage services like iDrive or Backblaze to back up the contents of your computer. These services run continually and back up
There are
automatically.
tons of different backup
This way,
services.
you will always have the most recent versions of your files stored in secure online servers. If something bad happens to your device, you can easily transfer your backup files from the cloud to another device. Whether you're backing up photos and music that you love, or using a file on the go, the cloud has a lot to offer. Plus, when your files are stored in the cloud, you won't need to worry about losing them to a computer malfunction or a rogue meteorite.
So one thing to note about that
These-
video is that a lot of your accounts that you create, your email accounts, social media accounts, your streaming services, anything that requires you creating a profile, which is your email or in a password, those are typically accounts that follow you and they don't follow devices. So what I mean by that is that even though I've created it on my computer at home, I can still access it from several other devices because it follows me and it doesn't follow my device. So let's say that I got on Netflix and I created an account with them. My computer dies and I can't watch anything. Well, I can go to my smartphone. I can download the app for Netflix and I can log in with the same credentials I used when I created the account. The credentials do not change. My email and password do not change unless I change them myself. But if I've set it up that way, then it's going to follow along with all of my devices. So just keep that in mind that when you're on the internet, a lot of this stuff follows you and it does not follow a device, which is why I'm able to use it in different areas. So this is going to tell us more about the web browsers.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
A web browser is a tool you use to access the internet. In order to make the most out of the internet, it's important to understand the basics of using a web browser. There are many different web browsers, including Chrome, Safari, Firefox, and Internet Explorer. All of them allow you to view
Which
websites,
is now Edge.
but they each have a different look and feel, so picking one will depend mostly on your personal preference. Right now, I'm using Chrome. When you open your browser, at the top of the window, you'll see the address bar. This is where you'll type the web address of the page that you want to visit. If you've been to a website before, your browser may suggest it, or even automatically complete the address for you. If you see the address you're looking for in the suggestions, you can just click it, or press Enter when you're done typing. Most of the time, you're going to go from one page to another by clicking on links. To go back to the page you were just on, you can click the Back button. To return to the first page, click the Forward button. If you see a link that you want to click but you don't want to navigate away from the page that you're on, you can open the link in a new tab. Just right-click the link and select Open in New tab.
Right-clicking is a class all by itself.
This opens the page behind the current page, so it doesn't take you away from the original site. You can also create a new tab by clicking here, and then typing in the address or name of any site you want to visit. To close a tab, just click the X. If you're on a website that you know you'll want to visit again later, or a website that you go to frequently, you can bookmark it. Most browsers have a button right next to the address bar that lets you easily bookmark any site. Once you've bookmarked a page, you'll be able to go to it again. In Chrome, you'll click the Settings button, select Bookmarks, and then select the website you're looking for from the list. Even if you don't bookmark a site, there's still a way to find it again later. Your browser keeps track of all the websites you visit in a feature called History. All browsers allow you to access your history. In Chrome, you can access this by clicking the Settings button. You can then click on a site to go to it. And as you may remember from before, you can begin typing in the address bar and your browser will make suggestions. These suggestions come from your history and bookmarks. The locations of these buttons and other options may vary a little depending on which browser you're using, but you should be able to perform all of the same actions no matter which browser you decide to use.
That was a pretty good video, and it explained it pretty well on the web browsers. Let's see. Links, navigating. They talked about all of that. I'm just going over some very, very basic stuff. So we've just got about 10 more minutes here. I'm going to try to get us another video that's going to be helpful. Downloading and uploading. We'll probably have to do a class by itself because that goes way beyond just internet basic. But here's that one I was talking about as far as search engines. So let's take a look at that.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
I'm trying to. Getting dizzy. There we go.
We're going to talk about how to do an effective search online. If your browser has a built-in search bar or supports searching in the address bar, you can use that for convenience. Or you can go straight to the search engine you want. I'm going to use Google. The truth is, Google is a very good search engine. Most of the time, it can find what you're looking for even if you don't know what you're doing. But it can't hurt to learn a few strategies. Say we're looking for recipes online, but we're not sure what we want to make. We'll keep it simple and just start typing the word recipes. This prompts the search box to give us a list of suggestions. Suggestions are great because they can give you an idea for a search that you might not have thought of. You can click one of the suggestions or just keep typing. As you can see, you don't need to worry about case, punctuation, or even using complete sentences. Hopefully we'll find some good cookie recipes. These are our search results. There are also some ads at the top, and sometimes you'll find them to the right too. If you see what you're looking for, you can click the link. If not, you may want to reconsider your search terms. For example, you could make them more specific or search for different words altogether. Suppose we don't want cookies with chocolate in them. We can tell the search engine to exclude those results by typing a hyphen or a minus sign, followed by the word we want to exclude. Notice that there is no space after the hyphen, so it's recipes cookies minus chocolate. This should have gotten rid of all the chocolate chip cookie recipes. There's still a pretty good variety to choose from. But I see there's sort of a sugar cookie recipe here, and that sounds really good. So I'm going to try searching for that to get as many recipes as I can. We want to put sugar cookies in quotes, so Google searches for that specific phrase. Otherwise, we might get results for other types of cookies that just happen to have sugar in the ingredients. These results look good because we have a lot of recipes to choose from, and they're all pretty much what we're looking for. However, we could refine them even more using the options below the search box. Here we have different types of content to choose from, like images, maps, and shopping. To view even more options, open the menu that says More. This is also where you can access special search tools that'll let you filter your results. These options will change depending on what you're looking for, giving you even more control over the pages, resources, and other things that you find. For now, why don't we do a visual search for cookie recipes by switching over to images? Now we can just browse through pictures to see if there's anything we like. These look really good. But wouldn't it be great if we could just watch a video to learn how to make cookies? We can do that. All we have to do is switch over to videos, again using the options near the top of the page. This will give us a lot of how-to videos, which should really come in handy. Now you can experiment with your own search terms. And just remember that most of the time, more specific search terms yield better results.
Let me show you what she's talking about. So when you go to Google and you search cookies, it automatically does it at a web search, but you have all these options up here also. So you could just go to images and it'll pull up those images. You could go to videos and it'll pull up those videos. So you have different ones that you can actually search with. All right, we got about 5 minutes here to go over a little bit more of some basic stuff. Let's see if we can understand URLs. Sorry, I know I'm... Here we go.
If you've ever clicked a link or typed a web address, you've used a URL. It stands for Uniform Resource Locator. Think of it like a street address, with each portion of the URL as a different part of the address, providing different information. A URL begins with the scheme, which tells your browser what type of address it is. The most common ones are HTTP and HTTPS, which is used when extra security is needed. Your browser usually hides the scheme to reduce clutter, and typically you don't need to include it. The main part of the URL is the domain name. This will often tell you the company that runs the site, such as Amazon or Facebook. The domain name begins with a subdomain. www is one of the most common examples, and it can often be omitted. But there are other subdomains that need to be included, like this, which leads to the accounts page for ninjagear.com. The rightmost part of the domain name is the top-level domain. .com is the most common one, and you can see it on any type of site. There are many other types of top-level domains used for educational institutions, organizations, government sites, and even specific countries. After the domain name, a URL may have a file path, which directs the browser to a specific page within the site, like this page for a burrito costume, or this one for a toothbrush costume. Some URLs may include a parameter string or an anchor. A parameter string begins with a question mark and provides the server with information to load the correct web page. An anchor begins with a hashtag and directs your browser to a specific part of a long page. let's see what we can learn from this URL. The domain name tells us it's Wikipedia. The parameter indicates it's probably about burritos. And the anchor shows that we're looking at a section on breakfast burritos. So now you know the most common parts of a URL. Or this one for a toothbrush costume.
Sorry about that. Okay, so we are just moving right along. We got a few more minutes here. So I am going to see what else is out here. How to set up Wi-Fi. This, we basically already kind of went over that with your router information. You're going to look for that router name, and usually on the bottom of your router is a password that you can use. Let's look at browsing with Edge.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
Microsoft Edge makes browsing the web fast and easy. In this video, we'll talk about the basics of browsing, such as navigating to a website, opening windows and tabs, viewing your history, and downloading files. To visit a website, find and click on the address bar. Unlike other browsers, it will appear near the middle of the page at first, but it works the same way. Type in a web address and press enter. Your website will then appear. In order to search the web for information you want, click again on the address bar and type in a search term. As you type, related searches will appear. You can either click on one of these suggestions, or you can press enter. A list of search results will appear, and you can click on one to check it out. There are three main buttons used for navigation: the back button and the forward button allow you to move through pages you've recently viewed. The refresh button will reload the current page. Use the refresh button if a website stops working, or if you want to see if a page has been updated since you initially visited it. Tabs allow you to have multiple web pages open in the same window. To open a new tab, click the plus sign and use it to visit any website you'd like. To see a different tab, click on the one you wish to view. Close a tab by clicking the X on the right.
It's just recapping our class today.
When you find a link on a website, you can view it in a new tab by right-clicking it, then selecting Open in New Tab. Feel free to open as many as you'd like. And you can move them by clicking and dragging one to the desired position, then releasing the mouse button. You can even pull one to a new window of its own. Just click and drag it out of the browser window, then release the mouse. It will then appear in its own window.
Nice.
If you found a file on the web that you want to save to your computer, you can download the file by clicking on the link, and it may download automatically. However, if it doesn't download automatically, you can right-click on it and select Save Target As. When the dialog box opens, select the location where you want to save the file, enter a file name, then click Save to begin downloading. The download progress will appear at the bottom of the browser, and when it's finished downloading, click Open. To access your downloads, click the Hub button, then select the Downloads button. Click on a file to open it, or click the X to remove that file from your download list. Every website you visit is remembered in a record known as your browsing history, and you can view it while still in the Hub menu by clicking the History button. Your history is organized by time frames, and you can click on the arrows to shrink or expand the contents of a time frame. To return to a website, simply click on it. And those are the basics of Edge navigation.
So those are really just the basics of the internet altogether. I love how they recap that. I'm going to stop sharing that now. And hopefully you feel a little bit more confident and comfortable using the internet. If you haven't been because you're scared, I'm hoping that this is going to venture you out so you can. Please reach out to me. I'm here for you. We can help as much as I can to get you to understand the internet, how it works, how we search, what a web browser is, what a search engine is, accounts that follow me, things along those lines. So, all right, you guys. Well, thanks so much for being a part of our Computer Fun Friday, Internet 101, and I'll see you in the next video.